You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
Hello everybody, Matt Geary for the Geek Pride cast on this Thursday night, and I have the distinct privilege to be here with David Foy.
Hi, how's it going?
And new guy, Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
New guy.
So how are you both this good eve, gentlemen? Let's put that down. How are
Very
you both?
good.
Yeah?
Very
All
good. Yep.
Yeah,
Just home from work.
chilled.
Oh yeah? How was your day, Dave? What have you been up to?
My day was stressful as fuck, Matthew. It really was.
That's
We had an external audit from our civil service accreditors. It was incredibly busy from 7:30 this morning through to 6:30 tonight.
Wow, that's
Long day.
Sounds super exciting, Dave.
Yeah, all for the bloody election.
I was going to say, with the election coming up, especially in Northern Ireland, there's going to be some crazy shit going on.
Nightmare, man. Nightmare. Suppers have already started, but sure.
We've got a few people watching. As always, if you want to jump in, ask us a question, give us a shout out. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and we're on the Book of Face. So by all means, fire us in some questions, fire us in some banter when we're talking away, and we will we'll give you a shout out, give you some love, Geek Pride love. So yeah, okay. Jon Jo, you are new to Geek Pride and the
Yes.
Geek Pride world. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, well, I've got a few bits I want to talk about, but I just want to know, have either of you two watched the Netflix show Sense8?
No, apparently something they've cancelled it or something.
Yeah, within the last hour or so they have cancelled the show, but I remember when this first got announced, it was a lot of talk because it was the Wachowskis. This was supposed to be their big return, and I think I saw a couple of trailers. Nothing really sold me on it, and it just seems to have now just gone straight out the door. But I just want to know if anyone has actually watched it and if it's actually worth watching.
No, I haven't, and I just got completely confused there because I had two Facebook things open at once, and I was hearing you twice. I was like, "What's going on, my fucking mind?"
I
was
just
like,
did that a second ago when I saw the live stream. And I've just seen that's my profile picture from about 4 or 5 years ago, and it has a very emo look to it. I don't even remember taking that picture.
"You don't have a swiped over thing, man, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all right."
At least it's not you standing with a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
This
Matt
my-
the bro with
yeah.
his gun.
Oh yeah, that's a. I thought you were actually taking the piss out of me there, Dave. That's a great picture of myself with my backwards cap and my my scar, assault machine gun in Vegas. Showing my right with my freedoms, baby, to shoot a gun.
Yeah, I'm incredibly jealous that you got to go. Maybe not as jealous about having, shooting guns, but sure, whatever.
Do you know what? Tell you what, man.
That's it.
I'm sure that some of our American watchers, or listeners, watchers, whatever, may not agree. In the UK, we're a bit more sort of, as you probably know, a bit more. What's the word? Reserved when it comes to gun ownership and such.
Same.
Now, I have to admit, I was like, fuck guns, blah, blah, blah. When I went over there and I fired them, it was amazing. Well, amazing. A lot of fun. But, and by all means, don't have a go at me, anybody in the States or any gun owning
Is this
country.
this a public service announcement? Now, yes, do not touch guns. Do not play
Yeah,
with
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, each to their own. If that's what you want to do, that's completely fine. My personal view was love shooting them in a range environment and stuff, and I can understand that. But it just made me, realize how fragile we could be as human beings. When I was stuck in a room with this guy who just had literally a box of guns, and I was like, this dude could turn around and blast all of us, and that would be it. And I was excited, but I was nervous as well. And it's great fun, amazing. Just shows you how some of these weapons, you see them on TV and you see them playing games and stuff, and you don't think about the power that comes through them. And shooting some of them, the more modern ones, there's no kick to them, or there's very little kick to them, and that's scary in itself because it's like, anybody could shoot one of these. The ones like the SAT and stuff, they were they gave me a massive bruise, like huge massive bruise on my shoulder. It was super scary to the point where it's just like, I never want to shoot that gun ever again. but yeah, I enjoyed it, and I can understand why people would want to do it. It did sort of I think it's one of those sort of moments where I'm like, okay, I can understand why people like it. It is very invigorating. It is very enjoyable. It does give you a buzz. But for me, it was like, I don't know if these should be in certain people's hands, especially, in Northern Ireland and stuff like that,
With our history.
Yeah, just sort of idiots galore. That being said, it could just be survival of the fittest, so they're going to shoot themselves with guns. Unfortunately, the way it works is they shoot the wrong sort of people. They're not shooting themselves. But there you go. Anyway,
were you living out all of your 80s action film?
Big time, man. I was so gutted. Because me and my brother did like the big package thing, and there was this massive like M60, like one of these like armor piercing guns that they sit on top of a tank, and you see the guys on top of the tank shooting this thing, massive gun, and it wasn't working. And I was like, no. But yeah, really enjoyed it. It was really good.
Schwarzenegger and Commando running around with just the M60,
Yeah, completely.
What a thing.
Completely.
I thought, funnily enough, that actually leads on to a topic that I think we should probably talk about later on in the cast. About Americans and their guns. So it'll lead on to something within the realms of Geek Pride. But we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. Lewis Story says that having fired an M249, I assure you, they're the most fun things ever. I don't doubt it at all. I really don't doubt it. So, yeah, brilliant.
I just want to fire the RoboCop gun. I just want that amazing scene in RoboCop, the original RoboCop, in the firing range when he has the machine pistol and he's just blowing the shit out of the targets.
Yes.
Well, everyone around him just laughs.
Yes.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Yes.
No, I want the gun from Dread. That'd be a cool gun to have.
That's the one where you can like talk.
That's actually a good question.
You can talk to it and stuff.
Yeah,
that's actually a good question. Like, what gun within geek culture would you prefer?
Ooh, interesting.
What are your favorites?
It's gotta be the Pulse Driver from Aliens.
Well, so you beat me to it.
It's got to be the Pulse Driver.
You go for the incinerator. You go for the incinerator smart guns.
No, right, okay, yeah.
I guess.
But I've always
the chainsaw gun from Gears of War.
Well, yeah,
nice.
or one of the just a bolt gun, a bolter from like 40k or something like that. Though that would probably just blow your face off.
Would you pick like the BFG from Doom?
Oh yes.
Although it's like a one shot kills everything.
Yeah. I remember like I really enjoyed getting that gun. When I played, this is back in the day when me and my brother used to play over like a local area network, so it literally my brother and me clicked together. He had a laptop and I was on the PC, not PC because it would have been like early PCs. I was like, wow, fucking hell, running around killing each other. That was amazing. Now I'm like, if I don't have 64 players playing with me, I'm just not interested these days.
Have you been playing Battlefield 1?
No, do you know what? I haven't played it. I was a bit off put, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know. I felt like Battlefront, the new Star Wars Battlefront, really upset me slightly because it was a Star Wars game that could have been something better, and it really wasn't.
I thought you were going to say there that you were put off because of the connotation of World War One.
No.
I was expecting it to be really sort of deep, like a deep commentary about World War One there, and it's like, no, I just don't like the Star Wars.
Yeah. And I just didn't want it to be another one like that and just be really put off because I love the Battlefield games, always have done, and I just didn't want to be put off. I'll probably give it a go at some point, but as it is,
you should. I am officially addicted to it.
You're saying about the Star Wars Battlefront one, but you've got Battlefront 2 coming out, which actually will have a story mode, and I think that looks actually really cool at the moment.
All right, okay.
It could end up being shit, but at the moment it looks interesting and fun.
I am. My girlfriend is currently pinging me on Facebook, and I've got it so the audio. She's probably watching right now as well, but you can see the audio going. So if you're hearing any pings, that's my girlfriend who has informed me that I have to talk about her on this podcast. Apparently, so yeah, there we go. I've got to.
Is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be like every single podcast we need to talk about our respective partners? Because I seem to talk about Jade all the time as well.
Mine will never listen to this podcast, so there's no point.
Yeah.
Mine is in the other room watching House of Cards right now. I can probably hear me through the wall, but sure, you know.
Oh, brilliant! I just think. Do you know what I've done? I have a feeling that I might have cancelled out of the live podcast on Facebook. There.
Oh, no, we're still going. We're still going. I can see it. I'm watching it. Yeah, we're still going.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
we're still
there. We're still going, I think. But yeah, it's just because I've got so many different sort of things going on, and I'm trying my best to get all of them at the same time, and I'm just like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, is this one working? Is this one not? But yeah, okay, that's all good. We're all good. We're still going. All right, okay.
Yeah, we're slightly delayed, but we're still going.
We're still going. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so Jon Jo, you had things to talk about. One thing, actually, because you were talking to us last week via the chat function, your story about Gillian Aniston.
Oh, yes, the Gillian Anderson story. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Go on then. Fire away. Inform us.
Well, okay. Well, for about the last 9 years, I have gone to London Film and Comic Con religiously, and every time I go, it is one of the most fun experiences that I have. You get to meet stars from your favourite shows. You get to buy tons of memorabilia and crap that you'll never use when you get outside them four walls. But it's fun. It's good, and getting to meet some of your favourite celebrities and stars from your favourite shows is always a great experience. But Gillian Anderson is one of the only ones that has never been such a great reaction to.
Right. Okay.
Basically, if you've been to Comic Con, you know that a lot of these people, they'll you line up for ages. You get a photo of them if you're lucky. They'll sign a picture or DVD or something for you. She actually threatened to not do my autograph because I was trying to take a photo of her.
What?
What?
Really?
Yeah. This is about a good 20 feet away. And it said on the sign, no posed photographs. I thought, Joe, I just want to have a photo to say that I've met this person. That's it, kind of thing. I thought that'll be okay. And she actually looked up and called over and said, if you don't stop taking photos, I'm not going to do your autograph. And I thought I've just paid 45 fucking quid for the privilege of having your autograph.
Yeah, I don't understand people like that.
That's
it's just
ridiculous.
That's just why. Thing is, in my time at conventions, and I've been to a fair few in the last sort of 5-6 years, and generally people I've met, celebrities I've met and stuff have been amazing, really good. Luckily, I've never had to pay for any talking to any of them because obviously through the website and stuff, you can talk to some of them, do interviews and things like that.
Freeloader.
Freeloader. Most of them have been really nice, but you do get the odd one who you're just like, you're a bona fide dickhead. And it's just like people, it's annoying when it's people you want to sort of really, you kind of respect and you like them from lots of, different films. Like, for example, there's a person that I've met, he's the biggest asshole ever, proper fucking, what a dick.
Name and shame, man. Come on, name and shame. Come on.
He played General Veers in Star Wars. He plays Grandmaster Pycelle in Game of Thrones.
Yes,
I know who you mean. I can't think of the guy's name.
I know exactly who you mean.
Julian Glover.
Yes,
that's it.
Julian Glover. And it's like, oh my god, he's in Indiana Jones, and it's like, what a dick. Really, what a dick. And it was just like, we were trying to, in the unfortunate. What's it called? In the Blackpool Comic Con, lots of people have different views on this, but we thought, myself and my friend thought, things were going wrong, so we try and help out to try and alleviate some of the stress of the customers and stuff, and the people patronising them. We thought we would do Geek Pride duty and sort of help some people out and stuff. One of our things we thought we'd do is we'll like move some of the stars around, and Julian Glover was just shouting at me and Russell for like 20 minutes and I was like, dude, I don't want to inform you this. I don't work here. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to get you from A to B to help you out. I have nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to help, and all you're doing is giving me grief. And he was just being a dick, and it was really annoying. Conversely, the legend that is James Cosmo, nicest guy you'll ever meet. Brilliant, really nice, super guy. There you go.
Lovely.
There's my stories.
I have been heartbroken meeting one of my heroes.
Oh, really? Go on then.
Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn, Hicks from Aliens, is an absolute tosspot.
Really?
He really is. He's been to two cons in Northern Ireland, and each time he has been fucking miserable. Like a real, I remember the first one I went to. It was actually one of the first cons that happened in Northern Ireland, and it was. Everyone was going mental because, my God, Northern Ireland actually has its own convention. This is going to be amazing. And he was there. He was the top bill star, but there were a couple of guys there from Star Trek and a couple of guys from Deep Space Nine. And from Farside and a couple of other sort of shows. And it was really, really good. But he was an absolute dickhead. I was so overjoyed, got from one of my favorite movies. Six. I brought down. I have like a box set, from like '92 with like a load of Alien photos, and I thought, right, I'll bring one or two down and get them signed. He was refusing to sign any photos that unless you bought a copy of his film that he was trying to flog at the time. It was a film that him and his wife had made.
What? I don't
So
understand.
it was basically like, right, I have photos here, fair enough. If you want to buy one of these photos, I'll sign it for you. But if you have any of your own merchandise, like a poster or a photo or anything like that, I'm not going to sign it unless you pay to buy this shit horror film that me and my wife made.
I didn't even think he made another film.
He was in he was in the Rock,
Navy
wasn't
Seal.
he? He was in the Rock.
He was in the Rock. He was in Navy SEALs. He was in the Abyss. But he's kind of just disappeared after that. I mean, he went through the sort of 80s action movie fad, but it was just it's a terrible, terrible horror film. I actually did watch it, but it's terrible, terrible, cheap horror film made by him and his wife. And out of I was actually that disgusted that out of principle I actually ignored him, which said a lot.
Well, yeah.
For me, someone made something out of Alien, or Aliens.
I just don't understand it. I sort of, when people act like, I try to give people a benefit of doubt. In general, in life, I'm thinking, right, people could have bad days and people can just sort of, just not be in the mood. But when you've met some people a couple of times and they're just being an arseholes, you're just like, why do you have to be like that? I don't understand why you have to be an asshole. The people who are here to see you are your bread and butter, basically, are the reason that you are, not famous, but probably as as famous as you're going to be, because if they didn't watch your films, if they didn't sort of come to these conventions and things, you wouldn't have that fame, the money you earn that puts the food on your plate. And it really upsets me, it annoys me when they can be that, because you can get some amazing people who have so much time for you. Really just like an awesome guy. Again, James Cosmo, Lord Commander Mormont. He's in a lot of films. He was in Braveheart. He's such an amazing guy. We went to talk to him. James was having a cigarette. We're like, I'm really sorry to bother you. Is there any chance we can have a chat with you for Geek Pride? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, completely just, yeah, whatever. And people like that, that's just sort of like, you have time for the fans, you have time for, people in general. But I just don't understand why even bigger stars need to be dickheads. It just doesn't register with me at all.
Yeah, but I don't think it's always just the big stars. You get some of these people who, as you say, may have been in like one scene in a film from 30 or 40 years ago, and some of them are absolutely nice. But you get some that go, "Oh yes, I'm way above all these people." It's like, mate, you only make your money from coming to these conventions every year. Some of them, I think, do play on that a little bit too much.
Yeah,
But you see the same faces at any convention. You know, a lot of the conventions, the same faces will turn up and they sit there, and especially in a small place like Northern Ireland, which has 2 to 3 conventions a year now, the same people will turn up and they'll sit there with, you know, just no one will go near them because they met them at the last convention 2 or 3 months ago, and they're just sitting there, faces like thunder, kind of, you know, oh, why is no one coming over to me? It's, well, yeah, you know, they've already met you, you've already blown your wad there. It's just, yeah. I
do sort of feel bad for some of like the less famous stars and stuff. You see them and nobody's coming up to say hello to them, or you'll have like the same shows. You'll have, you know, the same show with 3 or 4 people sitting there, and you'll have loads of people just going to the one person and nobody going to the other ones.
The other person.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I feel really bad. And part of me kind of wants to go up and go, all right, mate, how's things? I don't really want to buy a thing, but I feel really bad that you're just sitting there on your own and shake your hand and stuff.
But it's the problem with conventions now. I find. I mean, there's nothing like going to a convention and meeting someone who you admire. You know, someone from something that you love. Robert Englund was incredible. That was amazing.
Oh, he's great guy.
Freddy Krueger, fucking amazing. So stood and talked to me for 15 minutes. You know, with the queue, stood and talked to everyone. Answered a load of questions in the Q&A. Went over his time. Had a great time. The problem that I have is it is as you know, we were saying before, it is a way now of these people making a living. So everyone tries to jump on board. So it's different when you think of Star Wars, like, you know, David Prowse or Jeremy Bulloch or the classic guys, or, you know, people who actually are famous and were integral in the Star Wars franchise. It's when you get some randomer who played a random alien in The Force Awakens suddenly being, you know, billed as, oh, guest star, and you're like, I don't know you, and it's you know, it's only the film's only been out for 2 years. So
do you know
it's
what?
Like,
you'd be surprised. Mark Cox, who sometimes jumps into our streams and stuff. He's one of the guys. Geek Pride's first ever major interview was with this guy, because he's one of the chaps who went to Tunisia, and him and his mates redid Lars Homestead. Anyway, another story. But him and a lot of his super Star Wars fan friends, they go to conventions just to get posters of like Return of the Jedi, you know, the original Star Wars film, signed by everybody. And I'm talking like Stormtrooper, you know, 1 from the left, and sort of, you know, and he's got, like, he showed me once one of his posters, and actually showed me a couple of them, and they were literally just covered in signatures from every single sort of Star Wars character you get. And there is a business in it, you know. There is people who will get them, but obviously not that many people just want to go to these conventions and talk to some of the bigger stars. So there.
Yeah, but I would say that, talking about some of the better experiences, one of the nicest people I met was the late great John Hurt. I thought he was a very lovely guy. He liked to have a chat with everyone that was coming in. He was very respectful to the fans, and I think that year was a lot of people were going because of Doctor Who. There was a lot of people going because he had been in the 50th anniversary special. Yeah. And I was just thinking, okay, all right, I thought John Hurt was brilliant in that, but then I'm thinking of his other body of work. I mean, you've got like The Elephant Man, you've got Alien. There's just so many films, so many pieces of work. Even when he played Quentin Crisp as well, he embraced every role so perfectly. But when you look at some people at these conventions, this legendary actor has only been known for one thing, and that each person's talked to him about Doctor Who. It's like, oh yeah, thank you for doing Doctor Who this year. Thank you for doing, like, being in Doctor Who. And it's like, and then it came to me, and I think I was the first person to actually pick up a picture from his part in Alien. And I thought, like, you see this whole stack of pictures of Doctor Who, like 3 or 4 of them all Doctor Who ones, and there was only one Alien one. I thought, how bad is that? That someone who's been known, but someone who'd been known for this very iconic film. All right, he'd been known for loads more, but I say Alien's probably the one that so many people recognise John Hurt from. And there was only one picture of him from that movie. All the other ones were all Doctor Who ones.
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. But there you
But
go.
again,
People
understand.
People get typecast, and I think that's Alec Guinness is famously known for hating people talking to him about being Obi-Wan Kenobi. That film for him was a means to an end, and had no real bearing on his sort of thespian career as an actor. He just did not like it. Have you ever read any of his letters that he used to write about it?
I've seen some of the work.
He's just really not interested at all.
I think there was one story. I don't know whether or not this was true, but I think during the filming for Empire Strikes Back, when they said, "Okay, so we're bringing back Obi-Wan Kenobi," the first thing he said was, "But the character's dead." They went, "Yes, we know he's dead, but he's coming back as like a guide for Luke. He's going to be helping him from beyond death." And he apparently said, "Well, that's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life." Then when they gave him the money, they actually said, "Oh, this is what you're going to get paid for it." He went, "So, when's he coming back to life?" And...
Yeah, well, that's it. Because I think he was trying to fund. He was trying to fund something else at the time, so I think he was just happy. Plus, he's one of the only. I think he was the only member of Star Wars that got a percentage.
He was.
The rest of them didn't. They just got paid, whereas he got a percentage, and it's just like his estate. The amount of money he'll be getting off that and stuff. So. There you go. If you're his descendants, if you're his kids and stuff, wow. Quids. Cheers, Dad. Quids in, Brill.
Well, it's not like Tolkien. Like Tolkien's descendants, like there's a few who are, very anti the Lord of the Rings movies and any sort of extra media on the franchise. But then there's and they are just look down upon it and just don't like it. But then you've got his one grandson who fucking loves it, just loves the notoriety, wants to be involved in everything, and just give me the money, give me as much money as you can.
He's got a new book coming out. Tolkien's got a new book. It's I'll
tell you what, he's doing good. He's been dead for like 40 years. He's
the Lay of Luthien. So Baron and Luthien. It's basically an extended version of the Lay of Luthien from the Silmarillion, and that is coming out or is out soon. So yeah, excited about that.
And there's the new Middle Earth game as well, Battle of Middle Earth.
What?
There's a new
Shadows of Mordor, isn't it?
Oh, right,
Shadow
yes.
Mordor, that's it,
Shadows of Mordor, the second one.
Why was I saying Battle? That's completely different altogether. Yeah, Shadow of Mordor 2.
Yeah, that does look really good. That does look good, yeah.
I did enjoy the first one.
I liked it, but I got a bit... I didn't finish it. It got a bit repetitive for me, so I sort of stopped playing it and stuff, and I love Lord of the Rings, so it was hard for me. When anything Lord of the Rings, I try to be completely biased towards it. It's like, it's Lord of the Rings, I don't give a shit. But, yeah...
Did the Nemesis system not fuck you off?
Yeah, it was a bit...
it's when you die to the same person 10 times. That's what really got me.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't beat him at first. How am I going to beat him now?
Yeah.
But there's probably one of the I'm not one for watching clips of people gaming on YouTube, but there's one clip, I think it might be Angry Joe maybe, and it's him playing it, and it's just literally him playing the game. And he spliced clips together of him being killed by the same character over and over again, and his blood boiling each time. And it actually just you could see the rage. And I think at one stage he actually puts his controller through against the wall. He just throws it, just completely loses it. But then it just goes on and goes on and goes on, and then finally he kills them and he kills the guy. And I've never seen any. He's literally doing fucking cartwheels around his living room.
But then again, have you had the game?
Mate, I understand that completely, and you know what? I haven't stopped. It's not even a good game, but Pac-Man there's Pac-Man on Facebook, right? And it's one level, and you basically got to get as many points as possible. And my fucking singer Smith decided, because we used to do that basketball game that you had on Facebook, and I beat him in that, and then he beat me, and I couldn't beat him, so I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to bother anymore. And then he decided to throw in this Pac-Man game, and for ages I had the top score, and then he obliterated it, and I literally spent 2.5 days solid trying to get it. So you had you got the little blip, the little sort of power-ups at the end, and then could you get more points if you kill the ghosts in a row? And I was sitting there, and I was just getting killed, or I wasn't getting enough in the row, and I was just losing out by a little bit. I spent 2.5 days to try and beat him, and it got to the point where I got so fucked off that I had to stop, because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm losing sleep over this fucking game. It was ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah.
No, I think one of the worst ones of recent was the game Bloodborne on PS4. That was a game that from the very beginning, I hated it, but I didn't want to stop playing it. I wanted to get through it. I wanted to beat the fucking boss, and I think I must have fought the same guy about 20 odd times. Then one of my mates went, "Oh, I'll join you online. I'll help you defeat him as well." And even then, that took 2.5 hours just to defeat this one boss. It was painful. And then my mate tells me, "Yeah, that's only like the third boss." I went, "How many are on this game?" About 24.
Yeah,
it's the Dark Souls problem.
Yeah. Those sort of games, man, they just knock me off when you just can't get past them. You're just like, fuck you. No.
Just
way.
feel part of yourself dying when you get told that. Yeah, I've done this achievement. I've beaten this boss. Yeah, there's a lot more tough than him. Right, I'm giving up.
Anybody who is watching, by the way, if you want to chat with us, if you want to have be a part of this podcast, then by all means leave us some comments on Twitch, YouTube, or on the Facers. We've got a chat window here, so I can shout out anything you want to talk about.
What is your favorite fictional gun?
Yeah.
What celebrities have you met that have been great, and what celebrities have you met that have been dickheads? That's our topics for tonight. I think.
Yeah. Oh, we got to talk about what you'd spent, because at this moment in time, there's going to be 123 million pounds in Euro Millions on Friday, and I'd be interested to hear what people would spend their money on. Let's go for that, Jon Jo. What would you've got? 123 million pounds. Congratulations, Jon Jo. You've won 123 million pounds. What are you buying?
Right, guys, I'm off to go and pick up the check. I'll see you later.
So what are you buying first?
All right. Well, about a year ago, me and a friend of mine, we were doing our own radio station, and we've been in radio for quite a few years. So I'd always said that if I had won the lottery, I'd like to open my own fully licensed FM/DAB radio station.
That'll be pretty good. That'll be quite interesting. Yeah, I'd like to have my own radio station. Though saying that, nowadays with
technically you do, Matt.
Technically
you kind of do.
Yeah, with nowadays, you can kind of do it online, can't you? Really, it's just sort of getting the wider audience, isn't it? Like our friends at Primordial Radio, who've been in here a couple of times, they're trying to set their own radio station up again. And are doing a crowdfunding thing. So yeah, that'll be a good way to put your money. Though I reckon that wouldn't even be £1 million. I don't think you'd even scratch £1 million with that.
No, but what it was basically the licenses is what seems to cost a lot of money, because it's trying to make sure it's all above board, that any artist you're playing is actually going to get their fair pay for you playing their music. But it's also as well, there's so many things. So obviously you've got to make sure that, dependent on how you broadcast, if you're doing an FM broadcast, you've got to be careful of language and that before watersheds. If you, depending on the content and some of the regions, you might not be able to do certain things. And
yeah, we went on a radio show to promote our last album, and I, not being used to going on to like sort of daytime radio and stuff, and I'm just like effing and jeffing, and the girls is looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then I was swearing that I was swearing, and it was just like, and then she had to apologize for me afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." So yeah, that's why I did online, so I could swear, fuckity, shitty, fucky, fuck. Yeah, there you go.
And the Geek Pride podcast has been cancelled.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, I call it contemporary language now. It's become a part of our language. Like literally, I was in Benidorm for my sister's fiance's stag do, and or sorry, her husband now, because they got married.
Yeah, they got married.
Yeah, they got married. Her husband, and we were there, and I was just listening to the people around me and stuff, and it was literally fuck this, fuck that, fuck, and literally fuck was every other word. And I was like, wow, how it's become so usable. You know, it's interchangeable with every other word. It can be used for anything. It's a versatile word. What's that you've put up on the thing there, Dave?
Oh,
this is
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, if I won the lottery, the first thing that I would do, obviously, other than travel around the world and do the usual bollocks, I would go to America and I would buy the McAllister house from Home Alone. It was apparently worth 2.4 million a year ago. It sold for 1.8.
Wow.
So I would go and offer them 2 right away and go, yep, give me that house, and then I'd set loads of shit traps. And then bugger off.
Have you seen the video of how much damage those traps would have actually done had they been real?
Yes. Oh, amazing. It's the bit in Home Alone 2 with the bricks.
Right. Yeah.
It's like obviously he starts throwing the bricks at the guys from the roof, but it's done in a way where it's realistic. So I think it's Marv's just lying there, and each brick is just pummeling his head slowly, and it's just becoming more and more till it ends up being basically like like fucking. He literally is just like Glenn and Walking Dead. It's just a puddle of blood.
Grimmer's
it's awesome. Absolutely
awesome. I think I'd have to be. I'd have to do an honourable thing. I think I'd sort my family out and stuff. I'd give them. I'd like pay for mortgages and buy a nice house for them all, and make sure my mum was sort of all paid off and stuff like that. I don't think they've got much more in their mortgage anyway, but I'd make sure. I think she was talking about she wanted a summer house, so I'd build her summer house. I think first that would be my first thing, and then I'd go to Vegas and never come back. But yeah, I've put some money on that. So you know what, Geek Pride, on Friday, if Matt wins 123 million pounds, this shit's getting real. This shit is getting real. See, this room I'm in right now is suddenly going to get a lot bigger with a lot more toys in it, and
awesome.
Yeah,
Is that even possible?
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna have the McAllister's house, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it up.
I've just found something else I would buy.
All right, then go on then.
Will you see this? I'm posting it. How fucking awesome would this be? R.I.P. Roger Moore.
No way! It's the sub car.
It's the underwater Lotus from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Wow,
best car ever.
Brill.
16,000. 600,000. That's all it costs. 600,000.
Only 600,000, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Totally worth it.
Here you go. Like I would. The thing is, if I won £1 million, I think I could blow through that pretty quickly. So I'd need a couple of mil just to sort of tie me over. One for me to go crazy with, and one just to sort of sit in the bank so I could live off the interest. But yeah, I would buy I already have a problem with toys and miniatures and things.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Just
looking around your room.
Just a bit, but just a bit. So yeah, I think I'd have everything. Randomly. Right. So all these let's point over these. All these Lord of the Rings figures I have up here, and these things which I've been collecting since 2000, since the films came out, being a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I've been trying to collect all of them, and I have most of them in the different editions. So I've got, they're different. They've got different types. You've got Half Moon ones, and then you got the second edition type ones, which are in sort of more rectangular boxes. And I've got most of them and stuff. Obviously, the Half Moon ones are a bit more important. But there was one I could never get, and it was Legolas, Helm's Deep Legolas on his skateboard shield. The one he's coming down Helm's Deep on the shield. Couldn't find
a figure for that.
Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was on eBay the other day, on a whim went Lord of the Rings figures, and there it was, and I was like, buy. It was completely overpriced, but I was like, fuck this, I'm buying that because I'm not sure I'll see it again. So yeah, I've got that. I was so happy.
Yeah, if you're a completist, I can understand.
Yeah, I was just like, must have it.
Paying a bit for it.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, that was so happy with that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You do have a problem, Matt. I thought I was bad. I know. I can't really see it. You can't really see it on my camera because everything is sort of above me on a shelf.
Well, move
yeah,
your camera around,
have a
Dave.
problem.
Let's see. Move your camera. Let's see it.
To move my camera, I have a Mac, man. So to move my camera,
you gotta move
my entire computer. So it's yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll take a photo.
Oh, I'll stick it on.
Take a photo.
All right. Yeah, I have a problem. I'm Matt Geary, and I'm a super nerd. I have a big problem with toys, which I put down to a trauma that I received when I was a child. I used to have, I was like every other child. I'd take out my toys and out of their boxes, and I'd play with them and stuff. And when I was, what age would I have been? 10 or 11, maybe slightly old. Yeah, probably that around then. And I had every single Star Wars toy known to the Star Wars universe. Between me and my brother, we had everything. That's what we got for birthdays, Christmases. Everything was for Star Wars toys. I think the only thing we didn't have was Jabba the Hutt, which my friend had down the street.
Oh, Jabba the Hutt was amazing.
Yeah, didn't have that toy. But we had pretty much everything else. And I remember sort of coming back from somewhere. And granted, I hadn't played with them for a while. I was getting a bit older. I was like, I was more interested in the computer games and things at the time. Hadn't played them for a while. Came inside, and for some reason, I just thought, I'm just going to have a look at my Star Wars toys. Opened up my cupboards where my Star Wars toys were. All gone. All gone.
Oh no.
And my mother was just like, but you don't play with them anymore. I gave them to the kids down the street in the Russell. I was like, no.
What is this, like Darth Vader on the floor screaming, mate?
Yeah, proper oh my god. And I was just like, you what? No. And it's just like, some of these are worth loads of money now. Cause I had everything, there's not many toys, that was something I collected. And from that point on, when I started collecting again, they're always in their boxes, and they're always there. So it's like, mother, you can't give these away. They're in their boxes, all right?
Behind bulletproof glass.
Yeah, it's just like
lasers across the room.
Yeah. Lewis Story has said, favorite gun, Zorg ZF1, and Cool
Nice.
Person. What's the Zorg ZF1? Where's that from?
It's Fifth Element, isn't it?
Yes,
Is it
it
still?
is. Yes, I think it is. And the Cool Person, Ray Park, very chilled, and had a good chat about Episode 1 and X-Men, and Iron Brew availability in the US.
Lovely.
Spoiler, it's basically zero. Oh, no brew.
Well, I know that.
Oh. My Scottish mate, Kev, when we were in university, he used to have a massive, because he was Scottish, obsession with Iron Brew, and he used to collect the cans, and he had this thing called his wall of brew, and it was basically Iron Brew cans that basically masked his entire wall in university, and it was a sight to behold. Some people said you could see it from space, but they were idiots and you couldn't.
Jesus Christ!
There you go. Apparently, you can't see the Great Wall of China from space either. That was a lie. What's that?
No.
You can't see it.
You can.
You can't.
You can.
It's a fiction, Dave. I think you should Google that right now. Go.
I thought you could.
Right,
I thought I'd seen.
No, because they said
I've been
I
to
can't-
space.
it's right. Let's Google this right now. Let's Google it. Right, we'll get it.
Okay.
Can you see the Great Wall of China from space? Second entry. Here we go. And the answer is, it has become a space-based myth. The Great Wall of China, frequently billed as the only man-made object was visible in space, generally isn't, at least to the unaided eye on Earth.
Right. Okay.
And on orbit. Yeah.
I've just seen. I can't remember his name, but the famous astronaut, the singing astronaut.
Oh yeah, the Canadian
I
guy. The
can't
Canadian
remember.
guy, Chris something. Chris somebody. Can't remember a second name.
It'll come to me. But yeah, but obviously he would take these absolutely beautiful photos of different areas. Like there's incredible photo he took of Ireland, and it's just insane how beautiful it is. But yeah, he taken photos of different, both man-made and natural sites from space, and you could definitely see the Great Wall of China. But it's obviously, if he's taking a high resolution photo from the space station, you could see it.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
But,
so yeah.
Great Wall of China is great, by the way. It's awesome the fact that Matt Damon built it and everything.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. Have you
that.
been there, Dave? But then, yeah, it's just
no,
that film I have not seen yet, so I don't know.
I have no interest in that film.
Yeah, it's sort of. There's a lot of films where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch that. Don't know.
I don't know. There's something about films like they're. I don't want to get into the whole whitewashing, discussion and that sort of stuff. But it's more just about this, the sort of big historical epic films, which just throw in random Western characters just for the sake of it, just to appeal to a more broader viewership. Like a big one for me was always The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Beautiful film, fantastic, but it's essentially just random Westerner shows up and saves all of Japan from war.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Have you seen the Ghost in the Shell film from a couple of months ago?
No.
Yes,
no.
I have.
No.
I have.
Okay. Right. Basically, Ghost in the Shell is one of my favourite films I've ever watched. Not obviously the new one, the 1995 cartoon.
Yeah.
It's so well made. It was so fantastically presented, and I think I watched that when I was first about 6 or 7 years old. I remember even then just being gobsmacked at how appealing it was, and just all the characters. I mean, the Major, Batu, all these people were just so well pulled out of the source material and put on the screen perfectly. And then you've got this film, which I know what it was trying to do, because with a Hollywood film, you're never going to have unknown actors. You're always going to have people that are front and center in the media. So Scarlett Johansson, okay, not too bad in the movie, but if you've seen the film, you see how they try and get around some of the casting controversy, and I think that's one of the worst aspects of that movie. I don't know if I should spoil it or not, but if you want to watch it, you will see when there's a revelation that comes up later in the film about Scarlett Johansson. I just think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen put into a film, especially after all the controversy that came beforehand.
You could tell that it was just tacked in to try and, yeah, you're right. It's just to try and negate some of the controversy that there was around it. I'd be honest, I actually really enjoyed it. I really love the original. Again, it is my favorite anime. It's absolutely beautifully made. I went in with a low expectation and actually enjoyed it for what it was. It was a decent action film. Not a patch on the original, but I think because I went in with low expectations that it's never going to reach the perfection of the original, that I did enjoy it. The only thing that really killed me was this soundtrack is probably my favorite soundtrack of all time, the original.
Yeah.
And the need to bastardize it by chucking in shit dubstep every 2 seconds just fucked me off to the extent that it was like, oh, come on, what are you doing?
I will admit, I same thing. I didn't hate the new film. I did enjoy it, and it's one of them films that you kind of put your brain outside. You don't take it in with you. You don't use it to overanalyze what is being portrayed on screen. But I mean, overall, I did enjoy it, and there were some great action pieces. The blend of CGI and live action, I think, has been some of the best I've ever seen in a movie. Yeah, it was very well presented. The last act, when you've got this, basically, if you've seen any of the original source material, there is some quite big creatures that do come up with some very massive mechanics, and that kind of what had been established in this world. It looked very gritty, very realistic, and then this comes on screen. I'm like, yeah, you've lost me.
Yeah, so it was very Chappie-esque. It was very sort of, just threw in these sort of, just fucking big massive mechs for no reason.
Basically Ed 209 from RoboCop.
Yeah.
Good.
What did you think of the remake of
Extra
RoboCop,
guns.
by the way? What did you think of the remake?
It was so bad. Do you know what? I will say one thing I did like. I liked Michael Keaton playing the villain, and that gives me hope for him being good as the Vulture in the upcoming Spider-Man film. But apart from that, the film was shit.
I quite liked it.
Actually, no, Samuel Jackson was good as well.
I quite liked it in a different
he
way.
kind of annoyed me. No. He was the thing that actually annoyed me the most about it, because the thing that I love most about the original RoboCop is the typical, Paul Verhoeven, all of the false media or the false news and the adverts and all that sort of stuff, which he did in RoboCop and then Starship Troopers. So there is that sort of, topical references the whole way through it, and they tried to do that with, putting Samuel Jackson in as this sort of, Fox News reporter, and it just didn't work. I just don't think it had the same sort of cultural impact as the original did, with like the Nukem game and the 6000 SUX car and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah. On a random note, apparently Wonder Woman's getting some pretty good reviews. Our very own Ben Fee said he cried for most of it.
Really?
Do you know what? I think I need to find his post actually.
Are we sure he's watched the right World War One film? Because it doesn't sound right for a Wonder Woman movie.
Was it Gallipoli or something?
Ben Fee says, emotionally destroyed by Wonder Woman, a beautiful, moving, funny, exhilarating movie. Gal Gadot is phenomenal. From our very own Ben Fee, who, by the way, is on a quick plug on one of our other podcasts. Ben Fee, Mike Orvis, and Callum Tidnall are on another podcast for us called Pitch Please, where they basically pitch ideas to each other about films that should happen. For example, the first episode was about Man of Steel 2, and I think the one that's going to go up today, should have gone up yesterday, but is going up today, is about X-Men. And they've got I think they've got 8 of these done. So again, like the Geek Pride cast, like you're watching here, is on iTunes and Google Play, etc. for downloads, and will be on YouTube as well. So yeah.
So the first one was about Superman then.
Superman 2, yeah. They basically.
I have to listen. I have to listen to that, because I take it the pitch that one contained Superman fighting polar bears and a big giant mechanical spider at the end.
No idea. I don't know. But
you haven't heard that story, have you?
No, I haven't. Is that
it's like the Kevin Smith script, is it?
It is. Oh, yeah. Yes. One of the greatest.
That can't fly.
Matt, you have to listen. Kevin Smith doing stand up, telling stories about some of the scripts he's written in the past. Yeah. You will fucking wet yourself, man. It's he was hired to write whenever obviously Superman 4 died a death, and they were trying to bring it back post the Batman movies, with the same producers from the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman. So they hired Kevin Smith on the back of Chasing Amy to write Superman. And he brought in this script, and it was going to be the death of Superman Returns, so on. And it was before Superman Returns came out. It was the one that ended up. It was Nicolas Cage was hard to play.
Right,
Superman,
I've seen the videos.
And Burton did it.
Mullet.
But it's incredible. Kevin Smith talking about the producer, who was just this absolutely mental cocaine addict ex-hairdresser who lucked his way into film producing, and who was adamant that Superman was just a stupid character and needed to be changed. And he came in, essentially, Kevin Smith brought in this beautifully written script that was faithful to the character, and the death of Superman and Doomsday was in it, and so on and so forth. But the producer came in and went, I don't like that. I want you to put 2 specific things into this script. The 3 things are: 1, Superman doesn't wear a fucking cape and can't fly. That was his exact words. Doesn't wear a fucking cape. It's stupid. Two, he has to fight polar bears. Sorry, no, it was actually sorry. It was the Superman had polar bears who guarded the Fortress of Solitude, and had to fight the bad guy before the end. So I think it was Brainiac or Doomsday had to fight these fucking polar bears, right? And then finally at the end, Superman had to fight a giant mechanical spider.
Wow.
Because he was obsessed with this. And what ended up happening was the funny story that ended up once Kevin Smith put the script in and it was rejected and the whole film fell apart. A year later, the same producer brought out a film called Wild Wild West.
With a mechanical spider.
Mechanical spider. Yeah.
Oh no.
You have to see if you can find it. It's like Kevin Smith. I can't remember which one it was. I'll send you a link. But there's a story about that, and then there's a story about him making films for Prince and all these.
Oh, I've seen the Prince film, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, and how Prince is a bit of a weird guy, and I thought that was quite good. Yeah.
Saying about these films that were not produced, one of my favourite stories is the Batman one that was supposed to come after Batman and Robin, because the studios at Warner Brothers thought, oh yeah, Batman and Robin's a really good film, people are going to love it, and it obviously turned out to be one of the biggest pieces of shit that ever landed in 1997 or any year. But
I love it.
No, it's bad. It's awful. But what they were going to do is they were going to do a sequel, which was going to bring George Clooney back as Batman. Chris O'Donnell was going to come back. But what this was going to do is apparently they were going to kill off Robin and Batgirl because they're bad.
Right.
They were going to have the Scarecrow as the main villain. They were also going to have Harley Quinn in the film, but Harley Quinn wouldn't have been the girlfriend of the Joker. She would have been the daughter, avenging the death of Joker from the 1989 Batman movie.
Awesome. Right. I think I was Batman Triumphant. I think
Batman
it was called,
Triumphant.
wasn't it?
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, and it was Jeff Goldblum was meant to be the Scarecrow, which I think would have been amazing casting.
Wow.
Thing is, it could have been good, and it did sound like they were going to go in the right direction. But Batman and Robin I remember watching that, and then a little while ago I watched it again, and then I watched the first Batman movie from 1989, and then I watched Batman Begins, and even I watched Batman v Superman, and I just think, okay, Batman v Superman is a very divided film, but it does produce one of the best versions of Batman that I've seen on screen. Batman Begins goes right to the roots. There's no real special effects. It's nothing really major done in terms of changing his story, but they keep it a lot more grounded, realistic, and I think it earns from that. And then Batman 1989, this was the first time we really saw a dark Batman on the screen, and it was portrayed so well. And then you get the shitfest that was 1997, Batman and Robin, and George Clooney. Don't get me wrong, I like George Clooney as an actor, but that was the worst fucking role I've ever seen in my life. And how he managed to then become one of the biggest actors in Hollywood and multiple Oscar winner just goes beyond me.
Yeah, I have to admit that I didn't overly. I watched the old Batman films as sort of the Tim Burton ones, and I watched them and I enjoyed them, but I wasn't really that into them. It was the Christopher Nolan, the Dark Knight ones that really got me sort of like hooked on the sort of the more darker Batman. I wasn't really a fan of the more kitschier sort of old school Batman, to be honest. I kind of liked the darker one.
Yeah, the dark one is good, and but again, I like Batman when it goes silly. I mean, not Batman Robin silly, but I love
like
the
old school
original show.
1960s.
Yeah, I have actually got no lie. I have got the box set of the 1960s Batman TV show, and to this day it is probably one of the cheesiest things that is on TV. One of the worst things that you could possibly watch in terms of how it was made and how it's produced, but it's so much fun, and it's just one of the things that I do still enjoy today. And we talked about Comic-Con earlier. Adam West is making his last UK appearance at London Film and Comic-Con this year, and I have to go and meet him.
Awesome. I'm there.
He's amazing, man. He's just
I'm actually there, and I can't wait.
Oh, brilliant. All right, yeah, because your girlfriend's Jade is she won the cosplay competition, didn't she?
She won the Northern Ireland heat, the Showmasters heat in Belfast for the cosplay comp. So she won tickets to the London Film and Comic Con and automatic entry into the cosplay masquerade in London. So yeah.
Brilliant.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Good luck, Jades. Good luck.
Anyway, that's the rant over from Batman.
Yeah. What was I going to say there now? I'm completely confused myself. See, the problem with having all these screens, as much as it looks awesome, I get really easily distracted. So I'm just sitting there kind of going, ooh, something's doing that over there. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about now. I've completely forgotten. But what time is it? What have we got on? We've only been on an hour. So it's not too bad. Usually we last for about an hour and 20. Has anybody else got anything else that they want to talk about before we move on?
I was gonna, like I said earlier on when we were talking about guns, something I was gonna bring up. Again, don't want to get too political. But Far Cry 5, the trailer for Far Cry 5, came out this week. The reaction has been very sort of mixed about it. Obviously linking into the whole, American gun obsession. So the new Far Cry, whereas the previous Far Cries were all set in, foreign locations, and the Far Cry 2 was set in Africa. Part 3 was in like a tropical island. Part 4 was set in Tibet. So the new Part 5 is set in Montana, in America.
What?
And it's a really like I don't know if this is a specific reaction to Trump and the rise of the far right, and the real sort of the reaction to that. But it's essentially Montana, religious nuts with loads of guns, persecuting a small town. And it just looks mental. And there's been a serious reaction to it. Like, a lot of people, obviously, people looking at it from one viewpoint, as in, oh my God, this is hilarious. It's a commentary on Trump, and it's a commentary on Americans' obsession with guns and with hunting and so on. And then you have people in the right leaning media who are, again, recognizing that it obviously must be some sort of commentary on Trump, but that boycott, this must be boycotted, this is disgusting, typecasting all Americans as complete religious gun nuts. It's crazy. I think it's a big chance that Ubisoft are taking with this. It's not something that I would expect a mainstream games publisher to do. Because obviously the majority of your market is going to be the average American consumer.
Yeah.
And if you're being this, if you're being this, I would say, obvious with your commentary, it's very strange. It's a brave chance, because it could backfire. If you look at the whole thing, what happened with, what they tried to do with Star Wars, the boycott Star Wars and all that sort of stuff. It is ridiculous. It's a brave decision.
Yeah, insane.
It was.
Talking, obviously, because we can't go through one of these podcasts without talking about Rick and Morty or Donald Trump. Ben Fee put a thing on. There's a Zombie Side, the game, which we've got the Black Plague. There's a version of it called Black Plague, which is sort of a medieval type sort of fantasy version of it, which there will be some videos coming up, ladies and gentlemen, if you're into how-tos and unboxing and playthroughs and stuff. That'll be coming up soon. He's put on, they've got a new expansion coming out called the Green Horde. And one of the stretch goals, if they reach 1,760,000. Actually, is that? Wait a minute. What's 1760K? Is that 1.7 million?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
If they get 1.7 million in funding, they've got an additional stretch goal called the Magenta. And I don't know how to pronounce this. It's covfefe. You know, the thing that Donald Trump put on his Twitter.
Oh, covfefe.
Oh, covfefe.
Covfefe of R. So if they get £1.7 million worth of funding, you can get this additional figure called the Magenta Coffee of R, which is rather amusing. So yeah, that's very good. But yeah.
I
you know what?
did notice. Did you see the tweet? I did notice that I think within half an hour of the tweet going up, someone had already created
Fake accounts.
two fake accounts on Twitter, which was basically one which was like covfefe the brave, who was this barbarian, and it was essentially just like, I have been called by my master, I must come back and avenge him, you know. And the next thing it was like covfefe the magician, no, he was calling me, and the two of them just had this conversation where they just slagged each other off in like oldie English, essentially. It was absolutely legendary.
He's tweeted back, sort of defending that people don't understand what it means and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, because it's made up, you fucking idiots. It's just the guy's insane, absolutely insane.
But the worst thing was, at least he came out and tried to sort of, you know, excuse the fact that he said it. But the worst thing was your guy Sean Spicer, his press spokesman, essentially they came out and went, you know, what is covfefe? What was he talking about? And instead of going, I don't know, he just wrote this, you know, that when he was blocked on the toilet at like 2 a.m. or something, he just went, oh, only the president and a very select few people close to him will know what this means, but it means something. And everyone just burst out laughing when he said that. It's like, how can you justify, you know, try to defend the indefensible? He made a spelling mistake. You know.
Yeah, why did you just say typo? There you go. But instead of going, yeah, it means something. I was sitting there trying to figure out if, you know, what it could mean, if it actually meant something, if it was like an acronym for something. And I was sitting there kind of, what could covfefe stand for? So yeah, if anybody's watching this or listening to it, give us some acronym. What does it mean? What does it stand for? What do those letters stand for?
Sure, we can make it some evil organisation by the end of the night.
Yeah. The coven of violent, fat, egotistical, fat...
Egotists.
There you go. The coven of violent, fat, egotistical, fat egotists. There we go. That's what it stands for. Yeah.
Covfefe. There you go. That should be, if we were still putting these up as downloads, that would be the cult of covfefe. That would be the name of the podcast.
The cult of... Well, we are putting up for download. So this is what this is what will be called. It will be called #covfefe. The cult of covfefe. The cult of covfefe. Yeah. There we go.
Covfefe rules.
Oh,
okay.
Ben Fee, if you're listening to this, Ben Fee, this is your next RPG after we've done our Dungeons and Dragons one. The next RPG you're going to do for us is the cult of covfefe. That's it. And we've got to make our way through sort of different sort of press conferences and sort of fake news and such.
Oh, fake news! That term is just ridiculous. It really is. It's
the terms ridiculous. Fake news, Brexit, hard Brexit, soft Brexit. When I listen to the radio, I'm just like, fuck up, shut up. I fucking hate those words. It's like when fucking when you're in work and the bigwigs at the top sit down and they talk about blue sky thinking and taking things offline, and like, shut up. Deep dives and such, and it's just like, my God, where do you people come from? Why do they? Oh, that is not cool. You know, God damn it.
Because people in that position have to justify their own role. They have to justify their own role, and in a lot of cases, justify their own salary, which is massively inflated in cases. So it's all about, my personal favorite is like, that's touch base later on, David. That's touch base later on today. It's like, fuck off. Just send me an email. You know, it's just.
It is. Let's take this offline when you're not. Let's take this offline. It's like we're not online. We're in an office right now. And it's just like, it's fucking ridiculous. It winds me up to no end. It's just like, why can't people just be normal? Oh, what do we got here? Daniel. I'm gonna bastardize your second name here, Daniel. Apologies. Perosky. Totally missed this bit. We'll catch up on the podcast. Keep up the great work, guys. Cheers, dude. Much appreciated. Cheers. And I hope I didn't kill your name too much.
This will be all in the comments later. How dare you say my name wrong?
Yeah.
Blame it on being from Northern Ireland.
Yeah. You're not from Northern Ireland. Well, it's like
unless your name is Patrick or William, we don't know how to pronounce it.
It was like when we had Julietta the cosplayer, and a friend of mine on, and her second name, because she's like Polish, it's Zawadzki, but it was just like Julieta Zawadzki. It's just like Zawadzki, and I was like Zaspatsky, and she's like, no, Zawadzki, and I was like Zabursky ski, and it's like, yeah, get a name, get a proper name that doesn't. So yeah, Daniel, apologies if I killed your name there, but there we go.
Could have just said Daniel, you would have been fine.
Yeah, but I feel like there could be a lot of Daniels around, and we've got to make sure that we're calling out for the right people and stuff. So yeah,
officially you have ruined it.
Yeah, I've completely ruined it. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. He'll be listening back to this all happy and going, "Oh, this is a great podcast," and then we'll get to his name, and he's like, "You bastard! That's not how to say my name. It's pronounced Smith." Oh no, we've ruined it. Sorry, Daniel Smith. I apologize. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But at least you can't. At least you can't have stupid, like, sort of, like, because you got, like, quite a complicated sort of second name. It's not like mine, where I got Gearzo and Gears and stuff. You can't really sort of make it those sort of schoolboy nickname out of it. All right, Gearzo, how's things? Oh, Gears, how's things, mate?
What I love about my name is that you go into one of these shops and they've got all your names on all these, like, teddy bears, cups, and all these things like that. And I never see my name on anything. And sometimes it's quite nice, but sometimes I wish, I'd like to have one in Coke bottles with my name on, because I'd feel welcome, I'd feel loved. It's like, no, it doesn't happen.
Is Jon Jo actually your name, by the way, or is it a nickname?
Well, John Joseph is actually my full first name. So
right,
imagine how fun that is trying to find that anywhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like sort of unusual names. I like sort of ones which are different. I was like, my parents were going to call me Podrick when I was. I had to be called Podrick. Yeah, I don't know where they got it from.
Oh my god!
They could have called me Pod.
Oh my god!
I was going to get called Podrick.
I honestly, man, I didn't think you could get any more upper class, any more upper class, Northern Irish upper class, until I've heard the fact they were going to call you Podrick.
I was going to say, the only Podrick I know is from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, their Pod. Yeah, there was a Pod who used to he run around sort of Ashton-under-Lyne. I think he used to run the practice rooms in and around there and stuff. But yeah, Podrick. I never heard it until sort of obviously Game of Thrones. We were actually on a completely random note. We were talking about nicknames today in work and how like we've got one, and like Gearsden, who some people may know from Geek Pride stuff, and some may know from just life because he's a hurricane of a guy. If you see a guy with long blonde hair, a beard, looks like a 1980 sort of rocker reject type guy, super into Kiss and things. That's Gearsden. And his nickname came about because he used to sit between me, Matt Geary, and my mate John Marsden in work. And my boss sort of was kind of looking at it. It was back in the day when I had my long hair. And he's sort of looking at us both and kind of looking at Gearsden, who also had long hair. And he's kind of going, he's kind of like your love child. And we're like, what, like a Gearsden? And he went, yeah, like a Gearsden. And the name stuck, and that was it. So we were like Gearsden. And then our old, yeah, but he loves it. That's him. His thing's called Gearsden Lovefist. Yeah. And then you had our old guitarist, and he was walking down the road with me once, and he was like, yeah, so my family are descended from French royal family. And I went, you're French? And he's like, no, just descended from French royal family. I was like, Frenchie. And I called him Frenchie, and it stuck, and that was it. For like, everybody just calls him Frenchie now, and he hated it for ages, and then he just accepted it. That was his nickname. So
I'll tell you what, I'm not telling you what the nickname I got during school, because I know that you guys will not stop calling me it. So there we go.
Daniel says, I'm at the NEC Collectomania on Saturday. Gutted you lot are at the Games Expo. No, I didn't think they'd had two things at once. What you need to do, Daniel, is fire through
to the Games Expo.
Come to the Games Expo. I will have I think I'm the only one who's going on a business sort of thing. Everybody else is going for fun. Matt has to go with cameras. Talk to the guys from Geek and Sun. If you can get in, Daniel, come and say hello. We'll probably be around the Geek and Sun table, chatting with them and playing games. But yeah, so Nicknames. Funny as. Anybody else got anything else they want to talk about before we leave? Because we've gone on for about an hour and 15 now.
Yeah, I'll mention just one more thing is, as you're saying, Ben's obviously got to go and see the Wonder Woman film. I'm hoping to go and watch it at the weekend. Are you guys going to be watching it as well?
Yep, I'm going with Mrs. Louise. I've mentioned you now. You can be happy. She know what she's doing, man. There was lots. If you heard lots of pings at the start of this podcast, it's because my girlfriend was sending pictures of me that she had took of my screen and sending them to me on Facebook. So it's like me. Like, oh, you look, there's you.
That's a bit weird, man.
I know. That's me.
Slightly weird. It's like she's. I'm watching you.
She does.
You know?
My girlfriend. She Facebook stalks me quite regularly and stuff. What are you doing? You're online. You're not. You can't be doing such and such. You're online. many arguments.
Oh, dear.
Many arguments about me on Facebook. Unfortunately, but there you go. I'm addicted. So yeah, anything else? Oh yeah, you were saying about the Wonder Woman. Yeah, we're going to see it tomorrow. Myself and the missus are going to go and see it tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait. I'm hoping that it's going to be good portents for Justice League, which I feel really bad saying this. Joss Whedon's sort of kind of taken over some of the reshoots and things because obviously, unfortunately, Zack Snyder. He's had a bit of a tragedy and stuff. And it's one of these things. It's like the tragedy. His daughter committed suicide, and it's grim. And no father should ever have to deal with that sort of thing. Part of me's kind of going, yes, Joss Whedon's doing it, and it was one of those. I feel really bad for thinking that, but yeah.
All I'll say is probably not get too hooked on the Joss Whedon side of it, because I think there's only about a week or so of reshoots they're doing, and even then, he's been given a guideline to stay within the tone that's already been set by Snyder. So,
in Snyder's defense, Superman I loved, Man of Steel, fucking loved. I give it full marks. I loved that film. I don't have as much hate for him as a director or his films as some people do. And Batman versus Superman.
He's a very misunderstood beast, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not perfect. I actually think the extended edition makes it a lot better film, but it wasn't as bad, I think, as some people make it out to be. And so I've got high hopes for Justice League. Hopefully, it'll be good.
Yeah, what I like though is that they have now decided to go away from the bleak and everything's so bad, everything's so moody, making it it basically feels like an emo has written this. Well, yeah, but this one does feel like the Avengers now. This one does feel like it's actually going with a great team dynamic. It's blending a nice bit of action and comedy, and some of the jokes do stick quite well, especially Aquaman, Jason Momoa. I think he's actually going to probably be the breakout character in that film.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a proving ground for Aquaman to see if they can actually make a standalone film for him. Because, Wonder Woman they weren't really going to do, but there was such a good sort of vibe from Batman versus Superman that thought, yep, let's do that. So yeah, it could be.
Well, she was the second best thing about that film.
What was the best?
Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, Ben Affleck as Batman was amazing. He was so good, such a good Batman.
The film itself is too long, but you could tell that I think initially it was meant to be two separate films, and they've just decided, no, fuck it, we need to cram everything into one film. You're right, Matt. The extended version, it definitely an improvement. It does expand. It adds a lot more to Batman's psyche. It adds a lot more to Affleck's character and his motivation in it. The whole sort of closer to the Dark Knight Returns sort of side in terms of the old grizzled Batman who's been broken down and is just going, fuck this, I'm going to kill. Not really killing, but more just in terms of, I'm tired of pussyfooting around criminals. It's not getting me anywhere. That was great. I think the bits that they tried to, that was great. I didn't mind the bits with Cavill as Superman. I didn't mind that. It was okay. I think she was good. Her introduction was very, very good, and at the end, she's fantastic. I just didn't like the other bits where they obviously they're so obviously setting up Justice League. The whole sort of mini trailer bit where he downloads the clips and it's like, oh, there's Aquaman. Oh, look, there's Cyborg. I just hated that, and the bit with the Flash was just fucking stupid. The Flash showing up, and the whole it's Lois. It's just you didn't need to do that. Exactly. It's just like, I think keep it as in you've got Batman, who's dark as fuck, is the perfect Batman, and I will say that as someone who absolutely fucking adores the Dark Knight trilogy and loves Tim Burton, specifically Batman Returns. But Affleck is the perfect Batman. He's the Batman of the comics. He's a fucking tank. He has trained his body to physical perfection. He doesn't need ninja tricks. He is just one tough grizzled bastard who will just break your fucking neck, as opposed to the stealthy ninja that Christian Bale was, or the I'm a midget billionaire who builds myself a latex suit with stilt shoes just to make myself look bigger, like Michael Keaton did. It's just, he's fantastic. But I'm really interested to see what they do with the Batman film. I'm more interested in seeing what they do than Justice League, to be totally honest. I'm not that fussed in Justice League. I didn't like the trailers. I think keep Batman as dark and moody and a real dark, grizzled fucker. I don't want to see him throwing quips out, at Aquaman. But again, I understand they're trying to make it like the Avengers, but Batman does not sit well within that world. Yeah. Superman probably does. But then they've made Superman all angsty and emo in Man of Steel, so it kind of wrecks that. But anyway, rant over.
I loved it. I love Man of Steel. I thought I was buzzing when I came out of that. I enjoyed it. It'll be interesting to see if they give Henry Cavill a mullet or not in the.
I'm looking forward to see if they actually give him the black suit.
They are giving them, because there's been a lot of sort of what's the word? Not spoilers, but little sort of
photos.
Yes, the photographs, not of him actually in it, just sort of close, sort of.
Oh yeah, I do remember on Twitter, Zack Snyder did take a couple of close-up pictures.
Yeah. So that should be good. Okay.
Yeah, give the 90s wrestling mullet, please.
Yeah, they're amazing. Okay, right. So we've been going for 120 now, so we're going to probably have to end this. So unless anybody else has got anything urgent they would like to say, no.
Not for me. Not for me. No.
Okay, cool. All right, so thanks everybody for joining us. If you're watching us live, thanks again. Sorry for the technical issues at the start. Again, this will be on iTunes and Google Play. It's uploaded onto YouTube as well as obviously the stream will be on Facebook if you want to watch it later. If you've got any questions, we shall be on pretty much weekly, so you can join us live, or you can fire some questions in an email or something, or on our Facebook page, and we'll try and get to them at some point in time. But thank you very much, everybody. I've been Matt Geary.
I've been David Foy.
And I've been Jon Jo Cosgrove.
And just before we leave, just had the last question that's just come in here.
This is actually from my mum, who's just messaged this.
Jon Jo's mum wants to know what my cat's name is, and she's probably sitting there licking herself behind me. Oh, she's buggered off now. That would be Eva, Mrs. Cosgrove. That would have been Eva. So she sits right over there, sort of kind of on my table. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate your time, and we will see you later.